I want to show you on that theme a little bit of an interview with the new Communications Minister, Michelle Rowland. She's now responsible for the ABC. And I asked her about what she plans to do to try and make sure there's no bias or eradicate bias if it's there, because under law, the ABC is supposed to be objective and impartial. Have a look at some of what she had to say. I thought it was quite extraordinary.
If people have particular grievances with that, they are welcome to make complaints. They are also welcome to switch channels as well. So the fact that we have that opportunity for people to make complaints about the ABC and to decide that they will no longer consume the ABC is something that is always open to them.
How about that, Sophie? If it's biased, just switch it off, but you still have to pay for it.
Yeah, Chris, I'm not sure that that's really the answer. As we know, the ABC is riddled with bias, and this has been a long-running problem, which the coalition government, previous government, did nothing about, Chris. So it'll be interesting to see how it's handled by the new government. But look, you've done a great job on this documentary, Chris. I was lucky enough to get a preview of it. But I must say, Chris, I loved that snippet of you when you were working at the 7:30 report back in the 80s with that mullet of yours. And I'm sure the viewers will look forward to tuning into that.
Yes, there is a cruel transition there, showing me in a mullet in the 80s back to what I look like now. And when we were doing a preview screening today, the head of programming at Mark Calvert rather cruelly said, "You haven't changed a bit, Chris." It's my younger kids now will see me with hair for the first time. But just on that was a snippet for when I was at the ABC appearing on Q&A, hosted on that night by Stan Grant. And he's been announced today as the permanent host of Q&A. This is an important job because it's kind of lost its way, hasn't it?
It has, Chris. It's in damage control yet again. It's had dire ratings. It had the abrupt exit last year of Hamish McDonald, who shot through and went back to Channel 10. Then they rolled out this rotating host model with Virginia Trioli, David Spears and Stan Grant. And now they've effectively ditched Trioli and Spears and they're sticking with Grant. But I was looking at ABC's Facebook page today on Q&A, and there seems to be a lot of people quite unhappy with this decision. So it will be, I'll be curious to see, Chris, how the viewers react to Stan taking over as the solo host, which is the first time it's had its solo host since Hamish left in May last year.
I'm tempted to say Stan's a great host, but I only know that will draw him more fire from his critics if I endorse him. But it should be a lot more diverse show than it is. It's one of the things we look at in the doco. Now, the other news is that we're going to see the Albanese government, who of course have benefited from, I think, a lot of cheerleading at the ABC over the last few years. They're going to give the ABC exactly what it wants, really. That is more money, but over 5 years, guaranteed funding for 5 years to take it out of the election cycle.
Well, this is an issue, Chris, because the ABC seem to have copious amounts of money and a lot of us are left wondering how it is spent. So I really hope that they look closely at how the ABC are spending this ginormous amount, a wheelbarrow of cash that's dumped on their doorstep every year, because I think there's a lot of wastage at the ABC and you and I and the viewers pay for it. So I think they can put out some really good content. But I think the chair, Ita Buttrose, and David Anderson and the board really need to look at how money is being spent, because they're very quick to complain they don't have enough of it, Chris.